I'm Roxanne, and I've been a psychotherapist for over 20 years. So I'm just going to speak a little bit about some of the issues that companies have shared with me over my years of corporate consulting. The one issue that seems to be a top one for a lot of companies is managers and sometimes their ability, or should I say lack of ability, to effectively communicate with their frontline employees. Oftentimes, I think managers are very, very good at getting things done, right? So they get promoted up, right? Because they're very good at, getting things done. But sometimes what happens is they get pulled up into these positions, but the issues around what I would call soft skills ends up being an issue. And if you kind of think about the impact on the bottom line for companies, if you have an ineffective manager, how would it affect the company? Well, your frontline employees would get impacted. So let's say they're needing, someone to support them. If the manager is not able to communicate effectively, that could affect things like just conflict at work. So if you think about if a manager is not able to communicate well, then they would probably escalate maybe a situation that could otherwise be dealt with. If an employee is having a difficult time and doesn't know where to go, maybe they go to HR, but it's not really an issue, then they're kind of in the situation with the managers on an ongoing basis. What comes from that? Well, maybe the employee starts to act out a bit. Maybe they might take a bit more time off. Maybe, they aren't as amenable to get along as part of a group in any kind of group team meetings, or just the overall, if it's a unionized environment, maybe there's a bit more arbitrations or things that go to union representatives. So how can I help? Well, I think there's a couple ways that I can be helpful. I offer group coaching sessions to employers. So whether it's small groups or bigger group sessions where I discuss the blueprint of what it takes to be an effective manager. And individually, within the context of a group, we try to understand what some of those blocks might be for that manager and create a bit of a plan. If that's not enough, or if there's more of a need, at that point I could work individually with your managers if you're seeing the need for a manager to get individual coaching or executive coaching. What I found over the years with, working with managers, it's oftentimes that they may not be aware of their styles and potentially what kind of things they could change. And it takes a couple of coaching sessions for them to start to, make some changes that really, if it were to be done well, could impact the company just on an ROI perspective. So just think of what it takes to keep a really good employee. And oftentimes it takes about 6 months or so if you were to lose a really good employee to be able to replace them, in your marketplace. So if you're needing any more information, please feel free to give a call.